be a major mistake if the New York Giants let this happen. And no, I'm not talking about Joe Schoen keeping his job. We're going to take a deep dive into a free agent that I think the New York Giants should do just about whatever it takes to re-sign him to be on this football team for next year and some years into the future. Before we talk about that, though, I want to let you know we are selling some Giants Now by Chat Sports merchandise. We've got our first t-shirt up there with the embroidered logo. I talked to my guy Arnold, who is designing our stuff, and he said, the more shirts we sell, maybe we do hoodies, maybe we do polos, or maybe another version of a Giants Now hat. So if you love this channel, you want to support this channel, and you want to help market it, go to chatsports.com/GiantsNow shirt and get your shirt today. All right, Joe Schoen said this at the bye week press conference, and I'll tell you why I'm bringing this up. In my mind, I'm like, okay, if I'm a coordinator and I maybe want to be a head coach, like, would the Giants be an attractive job to me? Okay, they have a young quarterback that's played at a pretty good level for a rookie. They've got a number one receiver that had a historical rookie season. They've got a left tackle. They've got a left guard. They've got a center coming back. They've got a young running back room. Theo Johnson has showed some very good flashes this year. So that side of the ball, there's some pieces in place to build around. So you mentioned Andrew Thomas, as you should. But you mentioned John Runyon and John Michael Schmitz and Theo Johnson and your young running back room, but you don't mention Jermaine Eluemunor, who has, I think, without a doubt, of the people that are still healthy at this point, he's your third best offensive player. Andrew Thomas, Jaxson Dart, and Jermaine Eluemunor. And you could even make the argument that Eluemunor is playing his position at a better rate than Jaxson Dart is. To not mention Eluemunor was interesting, and it caught my eye. And I thought to myself, why would that happen? Well, Eluemunor is a free agent at the end of the year. And maybe this is Joe Schoen trying to play chess while everyone else is playing checkers. He doesn't want to, as he always says, bid against himself and drive up the price for Eluemunor so the agent can't turn around and say, look, you said that Eluemunor was a great piece and an attractive piece for a team. But literally moments after that press conference wrapped up, Jermaine Eluemunor tweeted out, literally December 2nd, 3:09. That was like right after the press conference. As always, I appreciate the support. Thank y'all. You are going to get my best these last 4 games. Maybe a coincidence. Maybe Eluemunor just tweeted that out because he doesn't know the future. Or maybe he might know that there's not going to be pen to paper and him to return to this football team. It's been reported throughout the year that the New York Giants have not approached Eluemunor about a contract extension. I even think, and I couldn't find the tweet, where I felt like someone tweeted at him and asked if there was extension talk, and he said, no, not yet, but I would like to be here long term. I'll just come out and say it. Letting Jermaine walk in free agency for nothing, that feels like a major mistake. Eluemunor hasn't played at an all-pro level this year, but there might be a case that he is a Pro Bowl level player this year. He is going to be 31 years old on the 13th of this month. So maybe Joe Schoen thinks he's too old to command a long-term deal with big money. But the question is, will it even take big money? You look at what he's done so far in comparison to the other offensive tackles in the National Football League that have at least 283 pass blocking snaps. He has a pass block efficiency of 97.7. It's the 9th best. He's allowed 17 pressures. That's the 11th least amount of pressures amongst all offensive tackles. Not just right tackles, all of them. 3rd least amount of hurries. 21st least amount of QB hits. And he's top 35 in sacks allowed as well. And you are finally starting to see this offensive line come together and play well. And for the first time in God knows how long, the New York Giants are actually a solid offensive line. Their pass blocking Pro Football Focus grade is the 11th best amongst all 32 teams in the NFL. The Giants' offensive line pass block efficiency is 86.7, the 7th best in the NFL. You could argue the New York Giants have a top 10 offensive line in the 2025 season. And you could argue that Jermaine Eluemunor is a top 20 tackle in all of football. And he might be a top 10 right tackle. And you're telling me after you finally got the O-line playing better, I don't want to say fixed because there aren't really long-term pieces here outside of Andrew Thomas, you're going to tell me you're going to turn around and let the right tackle go? And your right guard, who's 36 years old, what are you going to do with him? So after you finally had a good O-line, you're going to let the right guard and the right tackle leave? I don't know. It doesn't seem like the best idea to me. And maybe Joe Schoen is looking and reading the tea leaves, and he has a feeling that Jermaine Eluemunor is going to be out of his price range. Because, look, if you're going to have Saquon Barkley, you're not going to have a John Runyon. And if you're going to have a Darius Slayton, you're not going to have a like whatever Joe Schoen has to say about the way things work with his money. And not even his money, the New York Giants money, which is your money, because that's how they're able to spend money. Pro Football Focus has named Eluemunor as an underrated 2026 free agent who is set to cash in. And I believe that. And I agree with that. I think Eluemunor could be worth up to $13 million per year, $14 million per year. He's a top 10 pass blocking tackle in this league. He needs to be better as a run blocker. That's a spot that I don't think he'll ever get at 31 years old. You kind of are who you are, but his strength is very important. Protecting the quarterback. And the Giants, they have a young one that they need to keep upright. But I went over to Spotrac. Shout out to them. They do an awesome job when it comes to contracts and things of that such. And I was really, really surprised. And I thought it was a typo. And I kept refreshing the page. And I'd start my search all over again. And I go here, here, here. And I kept on landing on this same page. They do a market value estimation for what they think some top players are going to be paid in free agency. They said the market value for Jermaine Eluemunor is a 2-year, $17.7 million deal. That means his average annual value would be $8.8 million. And that would make him the 20th highest paid right tackle. I have a feeling that it's going to be a lot more money than this. I don't really see a world where a 2-year, $17.7 million deal is going to get it done. Look, if it is, sign me up for it. Like, Jermaine is a good player. Is he a great player? I wouldn't go that far. Is he a great pass blocker? Yeah, I would say that. Is he a solid offensive lineman? I'd say a little bit better than solid. But 2 years and $17.7 million, like, that is swing tackle money. And that's like what James Hudson got from the New York Giants, who doesn't even play for this football team. Like, he signed a deal that was 2 years and $12 million. And you're telling me that Jermaine Eluemunor is only going to get 2 years and $17.7 million? I hope that Spotrac is right. And if it is, this is a no-brainer. But I do think it will cost a little bit more, and it should cost a little bit more. He's a better football player than he is better than the 20th best right tackle, and that's the money that they are allocating in this estimation. But if that's all it takes, yeah, you absolutely get it done. But I would look to go up to 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm kind of in the camp. I'd rather just have him on my team than not, unless you're going to draft a right tackle in the top 5 or top 6, 7. Jesus, the kids these days. In the draft, I'd rather just get a right. I would do that, but like, are you ready to put Marcus Bozier starting right tackle? I'm not ready to do that. I'd kind of just like to rock and roll with Jermaine Eluemunor in that spot. If you want the Giants to re-sign him, if you want Eluemunor to be a Giant for the remainder of his career, hit that thumbs up icon for us. He's an awesome guy. He's really a fan favorite, I feel like, and he interacts with all the real ones on social media. Shout out to you, Jermaine. You have earned a major payday. I hope it's with the Giants. I really do. You've got the young quarterback. Don't mess up the offensive line. The only way to mess up a talented quarterback like Jaxson Dart is to take away his protection. and taking away a right tackle for him that's performing like a top 15, top 20 offensive tackle in all of football, not just right tackle, I think it'd be pretty silly to let him walk. But Joe Schoen doesn't mention him as a long-term piece, and I don't know if the New York Giants are going to go out and sign him. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, @MarshallGreen_.